Car prices soared after the coronavirus lockdowns, and 2 years into the United States' worst inflationary episode since the 1980s, the industry demonstrates that getting back to normal will be a long and lurching ride. Let's get more into it. The auto industry has been plagued by a shortage of computer chips for the past 15 months, forcing plants to close, delaying auto shipments, and driving up automobile costs. But automakers also have other issues to deal with. Various logistical issues involving a lack of ships, shipping containers, and truck drivers, as well as difficulties some suppliers are having filling positions, according to industry experts, are preventing automakers from obtaining a variety of parts and raw materials. Due to this, the cost of the present supply chain crisis is significantly more than originally anticipated, which will increase expenses for both automakers and consumers of automobiles. Chips are just one of a multitude of extraordinary disruptions the industry is facing, according to Mark Wakefield, global co-leader of the automotive and industrial group at industry consultant AlixPartners. These disruptions range from resin and steel shortages to labor shortages. Right now, automakers and suppliers have no room for error. Around the world, auto manufacturers are experiencing temporary shutdowns and slower production rates, which is reducing the availability of cars on the market. According to a new projection from AlixPartners, supply chain issues would prevent automakers from producing 7.7 million more vehicles globally than they otherwise would have if they had access to all the necessary raw materials and parts. This is an increase from the 3.9 million vehicle shortage anticipated in May. Because of the limited number of available cars and the high level of consumer demand, both new and used automobile prices have reached all-time highs. Additionally, the automakers would lose out on nearly $210 billion in sales this year as a result of not producing those vehicles, according to the most recent projections by AlixPartners. That is almost twice the firms may estimate off $110 billion. Increased prices, which would generate an additional $90 billion in income on the automobiles that are sold, will only partially make up for those missed sales. However, rising costs for parts and raw materials will cost the manufacturers $150 billion, or nearly $2,000 per vehicle. Overall, the industry will suffer a net $270 billion loss as a result of the different shortages, while automobile purchasers will incur a $90 billion price increase. Last year, the auto sector was first impacted by the computer chip shortage. The majority of automakers reduced their orders for future chips as the virus spread and car sales abruptly decreased, since they thought the market for new cars would be weak for a considerable amount of time. When auto sales increased more quickly than anticipated, however, the automakers discovered that they were unable to fulfill their chip orders because the IT sector had already purchased the supply to use in everything from laptops and tablets to phones and 5G networks. The supply of microchips was anticipated to reach its lowest point in the second quarter of this year before beginning to improve. However, a spike in COVID-19 instances led to a fresh round of shortages, forcing chip factories to temporarily close their doors in some hard-hit nations like Malaysia. Other essential material supplies have also run out at this period. It's not simply the shortage of chips. According to Cindy Jordan, regional president for the Americas at IFS, a multinational enterprise software company, just about every industry is struggling with some sort of supply chain difficulty. Our ports are really crowded. Manufacturers of paint are having trouble using titanium dioxide. They stack one on top of the other, and little hope of relief exists. There really are no shock absorbers left in the industry right now when it comes to production or obtaining material, said Dan Hirsch, managing director at AlixPartners. Companies all over the world are impacted by virtually any shortfall or production halt, and the effects are now compounded owing to all the other shortages. The state of the economy has a significant impact on how consumers behave. Consumer confidence swings or a slowdown in economic growth may have an impact on purchase decisions. Automobile manufacturers may purposefully decrease prices in response to economic uncertainty in order to boost demand and attract budget-conscious customers. The relationship between economic data and car pricing highlights how carefully market forces and consumer mood must coexist. The modern consumer is pickier than ever, motivated by a variety of aspects outside of the conventional parameters of performance and aesthetics. Automakers have been investing extensively in electric and hybrid technology as a result of the increased demand for environmentally friendly automobiles driven by environmental concerns. consumers are simultaneously giving more importance to cutting-edge safety features, connectivity, and autonomous driving capabilities. Automakers are diversifying their product lines and spending money on R&D to adapt to these changing consumer demands. This diversification extends to more cheap market segments as well as premium models. As a result, people can now purchase technologically advanced vehicles for costs previously only available for more traditional models. The global supply chain's interconnectedness has a significant effect on the auto industry. Alterations in the availability and price of vital components may result from supply chain disruptions brought on by geopolitical tensions, natural disasters, or international health crises. Automakers may strategically modify prices in response to these difficulties to absorb rising expenses or retain affordability during uncertain times. Understanding the delicate balance between pricing plans and supply chain dynamics offers insight into the industry's resistance to external risks. Traditional lines are being blurred and product offerings are changing as a result of the automobile and technology sector's convergence. New competitors enter the automotive market as a result of the incorporation of cutting-edge technologies like artificial intelligence, networking, and autonomous functions. Startups and behemoths are entering the market, with novel approaches to mobility that go against accepted conventions. This surge in innovation affects not just the kinds of vehicles that are offered, but also brings about new pricing structures and consumer expectations. The distinctions between traditional automotive and internet companies are becoming increasingly hazy as their industries merge, which has an effect on the competitive environment and, consequently, pricing methods. Although the initial cost of buying a car is frequently the focus, buyers are starting to pay more attention to the whole cost of ownership. The long-term affordability of a car is significantly influenced by its resale value, depreciation rates, and maintenance costs. Automakers may carefully price their automobiles in order to raise their resale value after realizing the significance of these factors. This all-inclusive pricing strategy indicates a sophisticated comprehension of consumer behavior and the elements that affect the total financial sustainability of buying a specific model. A complex phenomenon, the declining trend in car pricing is woven from the threads of fierce competition, technical development, economic ups and downs, and shifting consumer tastes. While consumers rejoice over the prospect of more cheap cars, industry players must negotiate a challenging environment that calls for flexibility and innovation. The trajectory of automobile prices maintains a dynamic narrative as the auto industry develops, determined by the interaction of various forces in this constantly shifting market. The interaction of these elements will remain important to the story of the auto industry as it continues its evolutionary path, ensuring a future in which market dynamics, accessibility, and innovation will come together in unheard of ways. Alright, now that we've explored the details of the automotive sector, do you have any questions concerning cutting-edge tactics to boost your business's sales? Give it a big thumbs up and let us know what you think in the comments section. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any of the juicy facts in our upcoming video. Let's travel together.